Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to ProsTalk. Today, we have another edition that will hopefully brighten up your December. We will be joined. So, for those who are just tuning in, ProsTalk is the corporate social responsibility arm of Buildy. We interview professionals that would typically cost some money, but we interview him here and they're for free for you to get some insights, tips from experts. And Buildy po is the platform for anyone that builds. If you're a merchant, if you're a contractor, if you're a supplier, if you're a person, who has a individual project and you're looking for somebody to help you with that, please check out Buildy. Everything that you need to know about construction is there. So today we'll be joined by an interior designer, Miss Hanna Chua of Habitat Curator. Hi, Hanna.
Hi, Miss Nat. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much again for inviting me. I am interior designer Hanna Chua of Habitat Curator Interiors. So, I'm an interior designer. So I got my license po back in 2017, and I started working na rin po as a designer back in 2018 until now. So, a brief background lang po of Habitat Curator. So, it's actually my branding. So, I named it that way kasi same initials ng name ko. So, HC, Hanna Chua and Habitat Curator. And then, I realized I do love working on residential interiors. Hence, the reason why I named it Habitat Curator, because I wanted to design spaces that reflect the client's personality and characteristics. So that's my introduction for
No, it's great, Hannah, right? One of the things that I think is a great blessing in life, it's December, almost Christmas, is to find something that makes money and brings you joy. So it's always good to meet people who is actually very passionate about what they do. Just like you, right? So yes. Habitat Curator, same initial as your name. When did you start this business or this practice?
So before I started this, I worked at a company for almost 2 years. So I started working on Habitat Curator December 2019. So I guess one of the reasons why I wanted to start this, kasi gusto ko rin ho na magkaroon na ng sarili kong image as a designer, and I wanted to go out of my comfort zone. So knowing that freelancing or doing stuff on my own brings me a lot of freedom, that would give me a lot of exposure to the projects that I want to deal with. So I think that's one of the turning points. I think that starting this design journey of my own is more of like a development that I feel like feels right for me.
Right. And when you were conceptualizing this, did you work with experts, or did you just do it by yourself, or did you also connected with people on how to start your practice?
To be honest, siguro when it comes to like conceptualizing, I did it mostly on my own. So it did take me a few months. Kasi syempre, di ba, parang yung branding is like the most important aspect of starting the business kasi it reflects your images. So when I was starting, I would say na parang I don't have a lot of connections back then talaga. So it felt like going back to scratch, which was very scary and new to me. So I did get a lot of help from my fellow colleagues. So sila usually na ina-ask ko when it comes to project and supplier help.
Right. And you know what, Anna, actually, for me personally, we had a bit of a journey when we were building our own house. Yes. But one of the things that I enjoyed watching is HGTV.
Oh.
I don't know if you follow them, but I actually like Joanna Gaines, and so whatever she does, I like it. So yes. How do you go about that? Because you mentioned kanina, diba, when you're actually part of the reason why it's called Habitat Curator is you like to design spaces, that incorporates the personality of the client that you're you're working with. So far, what are some of your interesting projects that you can share that truly demonstrates the personality of the client that you're working with?
So I can say na parang I'm working on I'm working on this project now na it's a residential home based in Pampanga. So for context, it's brutalist yung concept niya. So I would say that was this is currently like the most interesting part for me kasi parang nowadays I don't see a lot of people leaning towards brutalism, which is known to be cold. Pag concrete kasi di ba parang may iniisip ng mga tao, it's very cold, it's not very good for something residential. So when client talked to me about that, I was very interested in it and on how to see brutalism in a new light. So actually, I was working on this project, I did discover like a lot of things about brutalism that connects with the client's personality. Na parang both of them, they are very flexible and they're also like dynamic in a sense. They're also quite experimental, which parang parang nagmamatch talaga sila na parang yung curiosity ng client nagre-reflect siya doon sa space niya, and it was very exciting kasi parang they were also very game sa pag check ng mga other possibilities that we can do for their space.
Yeah, that's a very great example. No, brutalist architecture, typically you would see that in large commercial or buildings, no? From a residential standpoint, medyo I feel the challenge, right? Because typically when you say residential, home and the definition of homey is parang opposite of a brutalist structure. So that's interesting. I hope at some point you get to share to everyone how that goes out, no? Right? So aside from that, what are your biggest challenges in starting, Habitat Curator?
When it comes to starting po siguro, I think syempre pinakauna is the first step. And for me, the first step is gathering that confidence and courage to actually put it into action, yung mga plans ko. So, pero at some point, syempre na-realize I'll never know if kaya ko siya ma-push through if I don't try. So, I just went through that. So, I think yun yung pinakamahirap for me. And then, also the part where, there were a lot of doubts and hesitations if doing this on my own is like the right path for me as of the moment. So far naman, I found my answer for that and I'm actually happy na, I took this path na rin. So yeah, I think yun yung pinakamahirap for me is like the first step talaga.
Okay. And then that's always, I think, for most people, regardless of industry, right? The hardest part is taking the first step.
Yes.
Right? There's a lot of, doubt, and the what ifs. So it's great. So you just described one of the most interesting projects you had, but what would you consider your biggest project? And how do you consider that? Do you consider a big project by amount, by size, or by time?
I would say na actually yung nabanggit ko rin po earlier is actually also the biggest project. I consider it as a biggest project kasi parang I think this is the first project na marami talaga akong naka-work with when it comes to architect, supplier, and then also engineer. So parang I do think this is the biggest kasi parang this was the most eye-opening for me. So parang dami kong first experiences when it comes to this project. So it was also parang very hands-on for me. This project pala is also named as the Brutalist Haven. So yeah, yun.
Yeah, we in building we actually hosted someone is an architect, Brut. So it's a little bit related, I think. So it's interesting. It's interesting because in design, to your point, it's all about the personality of the individual that will live in the space, right? So Hannah, can you just take some time to actually share with the viewers how will they get in touch with you? What are how best do they find out more if you are the right designer for them? Because as 2022 starts, last week, if I'm not mistaken, or one of the sessions that we had, we actually interviewed Mr. David Lee Chu,
Oh, yes, yes.
One of the biggest realtor in the Philippines, right? For
Mm,
both commercial and residential. And he's really very keen and bullish about how 2022 will pick up for
yes, yes.
construction in general across
Mm,
the world. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who would like to find out, how they can work with you. Website or social media pages. And again, I don't know if you want to advertise numbers here, but for them to just get in touch, inquire, what is the best way?
okay, okay. So, for contacting, you can always check my website, which is hannachua.com, just my name. And then I also share my design journey. And also, if you are into art and painting, I also have my YouTube channel. So that's also Hanna Chua for my YouTube channel. And then on Instagram and Facebook, my name is Habitat Curator. So, um, I would say that there are tons of projects that I would like to share with you guys, especially next year. So next year is, I feel na parang, I hope that will be the time where everyone will, rebound and just have a great year than the past 2 years we've had. So I think it's exciting for the projects that I will share to you, and hopefully I'll get to work with you soon too as well.
No, we're looking forward to that, Hannah. I think next year will be different. It's a turning point. Everyone will now see what it's like to do business or to continue moving forward in a post-pandemic world. So I'm pretty sure we will have you again on the show. I think people will be very excited to understand, what Habitat Curator can do for a lot of the residential growth that we're experiencing in the Philippines. So again, thank you so much, Hannah. We're looking forward to seeing more of your projects here on Build.
Thank you so much, Miss Nat and Sir Stewart. See you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.